And with the intention of being good to ourselves as we sit with our emotions, let's give ourselves a nice big hug. If you'd like to rock side to side, you can do that. No one's looking. That's the nice thing about being in a online yoga class. Open up the arms and hug in the opposite direction. They say there's actually great benefits to physically hugging yourself. It has as much benefit as a regular hug with someone else. And it's always available to you in a pinch. And releasing the arms, let's bring our hands to heart center. Bring our hands down, up along the sides, fingertips to the sky, and palms touching in the center. We're going to do some sweeps of the arm, passing through heart center. We can inhale on the upswing. Exhale as we come down the center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bring it down. And one more time, inhale and exhale. Coming to heart center, let's drop the right hand beside us, beside our right hip. Bring the left arm up and over, rolling that left shoulder back, being nice and long and tall through the spine as we reach to the right. Lovely stretch in the left side body. And then floating left hand down all the way to the ground, to right beside your left hip. Bring that right arm up and over. Fingertips reaching away with energy. Rolling back that shoulder, feeling the energy and the contact of your right hip with the mat as you reach out of your seat and your trunk and reach over to the left. Floating it back down, bringing the left arm up and over, making sure you're not collapsing forward, you're rolling it back, opening up that chest, floating it down, and inhale up and over to the left with the right arm. Nice, right side stretch. I felt that in my lower hip. Woohoo, that feels good. And floating it down. Let's take right ear to right shoulder. Oh boy. If you'd like a little more stretch in the left side of the neck, you can bring the left hand down on the mat beside your left hip. If not, you can just leave it in your lap. If you still would like a little more stretch, you could take that right hand and bring it to the top side of the left head, sort of, just above your left ear, to gently encourage your head to the right. Nothing too intense, just a comfortable challenge for you, not too much. And breathe into that stretch in the left side of the neck. Now, rotating the head down so that the nose goes into the underarm. I know that doesn't sound very pretty, but what it does is it gives you a great stretch in the back left side of your neck. And if you sit at a desk, a lot of times we get lots of tension in our neck because we don't sit at our desk and our computers properly. And holding this stretch every so often for 30 seconds is very, very healthy for your neck. And rotating the nose more towards the underarm if it's comfortable for you, and applying that gentle pressure at the back of the head. Breathing through the sensation in the back of the neck. And then coming back to center. If you want to have your hand help your head, you can do that. Let's tip the left ear to left shoulder and try to breathe and relax into that stretch in the right side of your neck. Right hand either on the mat beside you. You could tent up your fingertips, do it that way, or it can be in your lap. And if you want to add a little more oomph to it, you can put the left hand to add a little pressure on the top side of your head. And breathe. And gently rotate the nose to the left underarm. Having the hand on the back of the head, sort of towards the right side to encourage it as well. We don't want to push too hard, of course. It's just a little bit of a light weight to encourage that stretch. And consciously trying to relax. Want to relax our legs if you're carrying any tension there. And of course, relax your arms and shoulder area. And breathe through the sensation. Let's bring it back up to center. Let's do some eagle arms, but we'll do some eagle arms with some spinal action. Let's take our right arm and bring the elbow to the center of the chest, sort of towards the solar, right in front of the solar plexus, with the fingertips to the sky. And left arm will come right underneath right arm, and then wrap around, fingertips wrap around so that left fingertips touch right palm. This is eagle pose. And we're going to, we'll bring the arms up, and with a gentle back bend as we bring the arms up. And then let's bring the elbows in towards our body and round the spine, and drop the head. And on your own, bringing the arms up, arching the back just a little, and arms and elbows down and in, round the spine, round, rest the head. And a few more times on your own, at whatever pace feels nice for you. And breathing, generally speaking, inhaling on the upswing, and exhaling as you bring it in. And when you're ready, coming to stillness and unwinding the arms. And now we'll do the same on the other side. So right elbow directly in front of the solar plexus, arm at a 90-degree angle so that your left fingertips are facing up towards the ceiling. Bringing the right arm underneath, wrapping the right palm around so that right fingertips are touching left palm. And bringing the arms up, we're inhaling, and then exhaling on the rounding of the spine, dropping the head. Bringing the arms up and down, rounding that spine. Inhale and rise. Exhale and round. And one more time. Bringing it up and lowering down. And then unwinding the arms. Maybe shake it out a little bit if you feel it would be nice to shake it out. We haven't recrossed the legs. Have we recrossed the legs? Okay, I don't remember. If you haven't recrossed your legs, recross them. I'm going to do it just in case. It's always nice to keep things balanced out. Now let's take the hands and bring them behind you, bringing the fingertips together. And what we're trying to do in this reverse prayer pose is bring the heels of the palm and the palms together, which may sound like a lot. And if you don't get there, that's totally cool. If it's fingertips are touching, great. If they're further down your back and that's what you need to do to get them to touch, great. If you're able to bring them up and bring the hands closer together, that's wonderful too. But we really want to get the general spirit of the pose without feeling like we're hurting ourselves in any way, because we never want to hurt ourselves in yoga. That's not what it's about. It's not a competition. So reverse prayer as is comfortable for you. And here we're going to feel and appreciate the broadening of the chest, opening of the collarbones. You're going to feel some action in your arms that you're probably not used to, which is good. If you want to stay here, you can stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, leading with the heart, long spine, you can lean forward and then round down, relaxing the forehead on the mat. Or if you don't quite get there, that's okay too. We want to keep our sitting bones on the ground. We don't want to be floating up and rolling away. And breathe. And then if you decided to bend over, we lead with the heart and up we go. Nice long spine. Back into a seated position. Let's let those arms go. Shake them out a little bit. And from here, let's go onto our belly. And we have our forehead onto the mat. And then you can lift the head up, bring the elbows under shoulders. We're going to move into Sphinx pose. So elbows under shoulders, forearms straight out towards the top of the mat, fingertips spread and pressed into the mat, not gripping the mat, but gently pressed into the mat, sort of palm first. And pulling up from the lower spine all the way through your central spine and up into your collarbone area. We're going to focus on that upward movement, opening up the collarbones and keeping our gaze just at the top of the mat, kind of between your hands, because you don't want to strain your neck by looking too far up. So right between your hands is a great place to look. Sphinx pose. You can imagine and embrace your inner Sphinx from, exotic Egypt. How it looks, kind of has its intense but calm look on its face. I often envision that as I'm in Sphinx pose. The tops of your feet are on the mat. And breathe, don't hold your breath. Let's bring it down. And we'll take the right arm and extend it straight out in front of you. We'll take the left arm and left palm flip to the sky. Lift up your right underarm by pushing into your hand a little bit and slide that left arm palm up across your chest, underneath your underarm, and then relax it down into the mat. For thread the needle with your chin turned towards your right. So left arm is across your chest to the right side of your body, left palm facing up, right arm and hand facing down and relaxed into the mat. And we relax and breathe into the stretch in our shoulder. Let's unwind the arm, bringing the left arm straight out in front. So it's extending up past probably or towards the top of your mat. Flipping the right palm up, bringing that right arm across your chest, underneath your left armpit, across your chest, right palm up, and then relaxing down into the mat. Softening into the stretch in your back right shoulder. Breathing and enjoying. Thread the needle. And bring right palm to the mat and pushing ourselves up and back onto our heels. So sitting back on top of your heels, so the tops of your feet are touching the mat. Your sitting bones are resting on top of your heels. Your spine is nice and long, your crown is to the sky, and your chin is parallel with the floor. So it's not, tipping up or tipping down, it's parallel, which makes the back of the neck nice and neutral. And we can relax and breathe in hero's pose. If it's a little too much for you to lean back, you can always sit forward a little bit. Find a spot that's comfortable for you. Just take a moment to breathe. Broaden across the collarbones, broaden across the chest by bringing your shoulders back a little bit. And then tipping forward, let's tuck the toes. So balls of the feet are on the mat, and then sitting back onto our heels, stretching out the backs of the feet, hands resting on the thighs. Or if it's a lot to be sitting in this pose, and it can be pretty intense, again, you can always tip it forward and find that sweet spot where it's comfortable for you but challenging. It's important to find that spot that challenges you, but it pushes you, but it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable or painful. That's not where we want to go. Shoulders down and away from your ears. Let's bring it forward and into tabletop. So into tabletop, we are conscious of our alignment. Alignment's really important. We have wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. Spread the hands so that the weight is distributed through your fingers and your palms are in solid contact with the mat. We'll take a breath here for a moment. We'll then take the right foot and bring it out to the side so that the foot is parallel. The sides of the feet are going parallel to the edges of the mat. And then we'll bring our torso up so that we're in a half kneeling position. Basically, we're kneeling on our left knee while the right foot's out to the side. And then bringing the arms up overhead and tipping to the right so that right arm is up and over, fingertips reaching to the right, and the right arm is resting on the right leg. And we don't want the hand on the knee. We want to avoid being on the knee because you don't like to put pressure there, either above the knee or further down if you can, as is comfortable for you. This is gate pose. Now coming back up to a kneeling position, let's bring the hands onto the mat and walk the hands forward towards the top of the mat, extending our torso forward, extending our arms forward, and making sure that we are keeping our hips and our knee aligned. So hips are over top of left knee. We're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back, we're adjusting our hips if we need to. And keeping the arms straight and strong in front. Spine nice and long. Head in between the arms. And then bringing it back to tabletop. Watching our alignment. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. And what we do on one side, we do on the other. So let's take that left foot and bring it out to the side so that the foot is in line with the side of the mat. Coming up to a half kneeling position, so the right knee is down. Arms overhead. And then tipping to the left. Rolling that right shoulder back as we reach. You'll probably feel a great stretch in your lower right hip area, the right side of your body. Really energetically reaching up and over with the right arm. Sliding down the leg, the left leg if you can. If you can't, that's cool. But if you can, you want to challenge yourself, that's an option. Let's come back up so torso is nice and long, crown to the sky. Let's bring our hands to the mat And then walk the hands forward, keeping the hips over the right knee. Nice and long, strong through the arms. Nice and long through the torso. Head in line with the arms. And trying to keep the shoulders so that they're not, yearning towards the ears, but they're almost back a little bit. They're not scrunching up to the ears. You're creating a little space. And let's come to a tabletop position again, watching our alignment. Hands, palms firmly into the mat. Fingers spread. That helps to increase stability. Broadens the base, if you will. And now let's drop the belly, lift the tail, lift the collarbones. This is cow pose. If you can imagine, a cow's belly kind of dropping down. That's where that comes from. And then rounding the spine, tucking the pelvis, tucking the chin, and pushing into the hands for cat pose, rounding that spine. And dropping the belly into cow. And rounding into cat. Pushing into those hands, rounding that spine. And a couple more times at your own pace. I really love cat-cow. It is a great way to bring movement into our spine, gentle movement into our spine. Keeps things nice and flexible, supple, and breathing as you go. Don't hold our breath. And then coming to a neutral spine, tabletop position. Let's get a little spinal movement in the other direction. So we'll do a lateral spinal stretch, bringing the right shoulder and right hip together, basically making a C with our body. And if you're anything like me, you feel, significant sensation going on in the left hip there, which is really good. Then gently coming through center and bringing C shape on the left side. So left shoulder and left hip together. And we're looking back towards our foot, left foot. Pushing into the hands so we don't collapse down. We stay nice and strong. So actually, you shouldn't be looking at the left foot. You should be looking over the left shoulder. That's a better instruction on my behalf. Keeping things firm and up. Let's pass through center and C shape to the right. Shoulder and hip together. Passing through center. Left C shape to the body. And let's do this one or two more times at your own pace. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Let's bring the knees mat width apart. So your knees will be mat width apart, your shins will be along the mat, on the sides of the mat. And keeping your hips and knees in line, let's walk the hands forward to Mandukasana. And this we can lower down a little bit more if that's comfortable for you. If you want to keep yourself active and your arms active and keep head in between arms, you can, but you can relax down in this pose. Forehead on the mat if that's accessible to you. And if it's more comfortable for you, you can even have the forearms on the mat as well. That's a modification option. We want to watch that our hips are in line with our knees. And let's come back up to tabletop. And from here, let's do a half Hanuman by bringing the right foot forward straight out in front of you and hips square to the front of the mat. Leg nice and long. I mean, you may have a bend into, that's okay, as is accessible to you. But the foot should be flexed. And if you want to stay here and that's good, you can do that, or you can elongate through the spine and fold over your right leg. Fall sounds aggressive. Fold is a better word. Keeping that foot flexed and breathing. Trying to relax into the stretch in the back of your leg as you breathe. And then coming back up, leading with the heart. Let's bend through the right knee. So bending forward into a crescent lunge. So you'll feel probably a stretch in your left hip flexor as you put more of the weight towards the front of the mat through your right knee. Bringing the arms up overhead, fingertips to sky. Spread your right toes, making sure that that provides some extra stability in the right foot. And then lower the arms down to a angel wings pose. Shoulder blades together. Chest nice and open. Let's bring the arms together, so elbows at the center of your chest, palms together. Open the arms to angel wings. Arms and palms together at the front. Angel wings it out. Together at the center. Bring the hands down to frame the foot. And then tuck the back toes and lift the back knee to a low lunge. Now let's hop the left foot forward, maybe like a foot or so in front, and then point the toes at about a 45-degree angle towards the left side of your mat. Come to standing. And when we're in our standing pose, we're going to square the hips to the front of the mat, so we're not tilted off to one side, we're nice and square. And the right knee is over right ankle. And if you need to spend a moment to adjust, feel free to do that. But we want knee over ankle to keep knee safe. And we raise the arms overhead into a high prayer, warrior one. Reaching for the sky, but also creating space between your shoulders and your ears. Now let's rotate the back foot so that it's parallel to the back of the mat. And we'll bring the right heel in line with the left arch. Knee remains over ankle on the right side. Extend the arms out nice and wide into a T. Warrior two. Looking over the right fingertips. Now, as you're teeing your arms out, think like you have somebody pulling on either arm. So nice and straight and strong. And arms coming out from shoulders. So arms not down, arms not up, arms straight out. And now we're going to straighten the leg, the right leg, keeping the arms in a T, and yearning the torso over to the right, and then windmilling the right arm down and left hand up towards the sky, fingertips to sky. You can either have right hand on leg somewhere if that's more accessible, or if you can bring the fingertips down to the ground. And this is triangle pose. And we want to rotate the left shoulder back, keeping fingertips to sky. And imagine yourself like you're in between panes of glass. So nice and sort of straight in one pane, so to speak. Let's bring it back up to warrior two. Knee over ankle, arms in a T. Dropping the left arm, bringing the right hand back behind you and over. Back to warrior two. And now straightening the knee and bring the toes, the right toes in line with the left toes, so facing the side of your mat. And let's step it together. So we're going to step it together. We're going to have feet kind of hip width apart for now. And if you want, now might be a good time to go near a wall. If that feels better for you, you want to have the safety of the wall close by. Or if you feel like this tree pose, our next pose might be accessible to you, then you can stay where you are, but it never hurts to have a wall if you're not sure. We're going to shift our weight into the right foot, toes spread, feeling the base of the foot nice and solid into the mat. And take the left heel and bring it right to just above the right ankle with the toes on the ground. You can have palms to heart center here, just to get the sense of what it feels like to be in tree. If you want to do a little bit more, you can bring the foot up the leg, but not onto the knee. You don't want that pressure on the knee. And I find it really helps to focus on the contact point between the foot and the leg and making that nice and solid. And focusing the gaze on a fixed point on the floor or on the wall that you know is not going to move. You can have your hands at heart center. You can bring them out. I actually feel like bringing them out to the side helps with balance. You can bring it slightly up, like a tree. If you're really brave, you can wave them around, but you don't have to. It really counts just that you're stable and calm where you are. And then bring it down. Let's move back into Warrior 2. So left foot parallel to the back of the mat, right heel in line with left arch, toes facing towards the front of the mat, knee over ankle, arms in a T. Let's windmill the hands down, back to low lunge, and back to tabletop. Bringing the left foot forward, straight out in front, squaring hips to front of the mat, foot flexed, leg long or with a little bend if you need that, that's cool too. You can stay here in half Hanuman, or if you like, you can lengthen through the spine and then soften over top of the leg, stretching out the back of the leg, foot flexed still, breathing. And then leading with the heart and coming back up. Rolling forward, shifting your weight forward into crescent lunge, feeling the stretch in the right hip flexor this time, bringing the arms up by your ears, fingertips towards the sky, broadening the toes. Let's bring the arms down and behind you. So clasping the hands behind you, arms nice and straight and strong, opening up that chest. If you want, you can bring hands to left hip to start. Then straightening it out and going to right hip. So this is a bit of a stretch and a bit of a balance challenge, just a little. Then hands straight and strong behind you. Hands framing that foot, tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee, low lunge. Hopping that right foot forward so that the right foot is 45 degrees sort of off to the right side. Then coming to stand with the hips squared to the front of the mat, left knee over left ankle, arms up into high prayer. Warrior 1. Then pivoting the right foot, and you can even hop it around a little bit if that helps you to adjust, parallel to the back of the mat, making sure left heel is in line with right arch, bend that front knee, tee the arms out to Warrior 2, looking over the left arm this time. And you can shift your feet, like heel toe it further away or closer to adjust your stance as it feels comfortable for you. Nice and broad across the chest. Now straighten that front leg, pivot the torso over the left leg, windmill the arms down so that left hand is either on left leg, right fingertips to sky, shoulder rotated back, or you can have the left hand on the ground if that's accessible to you. Now, some people say that you can bring your gaze to the sky. I personally like to look down at the mat. I find it better for my balance and it's better for my neck. But either is great and as long as it's accessible to you. Then coming back up, warrior two. Let's drop the right arm, bring the left arm up and over, peaceful warrior. Bringing the arms back to warrior two. And then just pivoting the left foot so the feet are parallel to one another. I'm going to face the camera. You can stay where you are if you like. Now bringing feet hip width apart, making sure we feel nice and stable in our feet. So we're bringing our weight more onto our heels. We're not being forward too much. Shifting the weight to the left. And then starting tree with our right heel just above the left ankle to get the feeling of the pose. And slowly bringing it up, avoiding the knee as feels good for you. You can bring hands to heart center, find that stabilizing point on the floor or the wall. Bringing your arms out. Having a hand on the wall if you need to, there's nothing wrong with that. Being strong in the rooted leg, lifting the arms up, waving them around if you'd like. And then coming back down to standing. And coming back to warrior two. Windmilling the hands to frame the front foot, coming into a low lunge. And back to tabletop. Now we're going to walk the hands forward just a little bit. Bring the right foot beside the right hand, so right foot on the outside of the right hand. And this is lizard pose. Now we can stay here with our hands rooted into the mat, the left leg long, the left foot, top of the foot on the mat, and the right foot planted beside the right hand. Or we can lower down onto the forearms, and that's okay too. And if you'd like still a little bit more, you can tuck that back toe and lift the back leg. I like doing this because it gives me a little bit more of an ab workout too. But you know, as you feel works for you today. And breathe, don't hold your breath. Try to relax your shoulders and neck area. Dropping the knee down. Coming back up to the hands. Now, hands planted into the mat. We're still in lizard pose, technically. We haven't moved out of that. Let's bring the right hand behind us. And this is an option. You don't have to do this. You can bring the right arm behind. Bend the left foot and capture left foot with right hand. And from here, you can play a little bit with what feels good for you. So you can either lean further back if the quad stretches a little much, or if you want more of a stretch, you lean forward. You can also play a little bit with how closely you want the foot into the glute. And breathe. And gently let the foot go. And come back to tabletop. Walking the hands forward a little bit again. I'm bringing that left foot forward beside your left hand. Right leg nice and long, lizard pose, hands firmly into mat. Or coming down onto the forearms. Or tucking that back toe and lifting that back knee. And relaxing, which may sound a bit, contrarian, but it's not. You can focus on relaxing your head and neck, and that feels really good. And breathe. Dropping that back knee, if you had it up. Coming back onto your hands, if you went onto your forearms. And reaching back with your left hand, thumb facing up, bending that right knee and grabbing the right foot. And adjusting the forward or backness of the pose as feels good for you. And adjusting where your heel feels good, closer to or further away from your glute. And letting that foot go. Coming back to tabletop and then into a seated position. Let's bring the left knee and place it in front of our body so it's basically pointed towards the center of the top of the mat. Then taking the left leg and bringing it on top. So the knees are stacked. And making sure we feel our glutes onto the mat, both of them. Nice and firm and stable in Gomukhasana pose. And sitting back so that our shoulders are in line with our hips. We're not leaning forward, we're not leaning back. Nice and long and straight. And breathe into the stretch in our hips. Let's unwind the legs and switch. So bring the left knee so it's pointed in the direction of the top of the mat in the middle. Bringing the right leg and knee on top, so knees are stacked on the other side. And one side may feel different for you or than the other side. Like this feels a little tighter for me for whatever reason. That's okay. We're not perfectly symmetrical, although yoga is really great for trying to encourage that balance. Nice and long in the spine and the torso, bringing the shoulder blades slightly together, chest open, shoulders down. Breathe. And unwinding the legs. Coming back onto our back. So laying all the way down with the feet to the mat, knees pointing to the sky. Let's roll our hands underneath our glutes, palms facing down. Now pushing into the feet, bringing the hips to the sky. You can either stay here with your hands firmly into the mat in this bridge pose, or if you'd like, you can clasp the hands under your glutes and lengthen and strengthen the arms, pushing those hips up and breathing. Trying to stay relaxed in the belly, keeping the knees hip width apart, so not together or not splayed out, but in line with the hips. And then lower it down. And now just taking the knees, maybe putting your arms in goalposts if that feels nice, and just windshield wiping them back and forth. Just to loosen things up. And coming gently to a stop, let's lengthen the left leg straight out in front. We'll take the left knee in towards your chest with your hands. And now gently guiding your left knee to the right across your body. You will probably have to just lift up and adjust your hips so that your head through your shoulders and your torso and your, what is this, right foot? What is this? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's my right foot, are kind of in line. You can, if you'd like, gently place your left hand on top of your, your right hand on top of your left knee to encourage your left knee over, but we don't want to do it too much. Just be mindful of what feels good to you. And then coming back to center, you probably have to adjust your hips so that they're flat onto the mat. Now, lengthening out that left leg, bring the right knee in for a hug, right up into your chest as is accessible for you. And then exhaling, bringing that right knee over to the left. And if you want with your arms, you can do like a half T. So bring the right arm out to the right. Focus on having your shoulders touching in contact with the mat. And relaxing into this pose. It helps a lot to relax the grip in your glutes and your torso. And bring it back to center. Adjusting the hips so that they're in contact with the mat. Now let's reach in between our knees, bringing the feet up towards our hands and grabbing the feet, the outer sides of the feet with our hands, bringing the feet up to the ceiling, as if you're standing on the ceiling. This is Happy Baby. And in Happy Baby, we pull on the legs, encouraging them to come a little closer to the floor, but while keeping the legs at a 90-degree angle and the feet as though they were standing on the ceiling. Relaxing your shoulders down into the mat. Some people like to rock back and forth. If you enjoy that, please feel free. I kind of like the stillness personally, but that's, everyone's choice. It's great. And now bringing the feet together and the knees together, let's give yourself a nice hug. Maybe rock back and forth just to massage your lower back just a little. And then lowering it down to Shavasana. Now it is 7 o'clock, so if anyone desperately needs to jump off, please feel free. I will absolutely understand if you have, 3 extra minutes for Shavasana. I'm happy if you join me. And in Shavasana, we bring our arms, palms up along the side of our body, encouraging our shoulders down away from our ears, tucking the shoulder blades slightly together just to open up the chest. The chin is slightly tucked so the back of the neck is long. And while I'm talking, I can't do this, but I would encourage you to place the tongue on the roof of your mouth just behind your front middle teeth. Relaxing down through your torso, relaxing your legs, your feet should be slightly parted. And I invite you just to revisit what we started at the beginning of the class and see how you feel right now. See if you can identify that feeling. How are you feeling now? Is it different? At the beginning of class, I was feeling tired. Now I'm feeling less tense, more open, more relaxed. Maybe you are too. Maybe you're feeling something different. And maybe being mindful of and welcoming that feeling too, because perhaps that tells you a bit about what you got out of class today, maybe. And with that, I encourage you to bring your feet to the mat. Gently roll to one side. And then using your arms pushing up to a seated position.